I'm gonna be decoding the movie The Lord of the Rings, which actually was a decent movie. I liked the movie, the war scenes, and there's always codes in these movies, and you can also um, see that it was a deep movie as far as the plot. Um, you know, the people in power had rings, and but when they make these movies, they always put codes in it, and the so yeah, the Lord of the Rings, the ring actually represents religion. So how do you control a lot of people? You control them through religion, which our ancestors had taught them that back in the day, from Egypt, Samaria, and whatnot. But the four biggest religions in the world right now is Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and atheism. So when you look at this movie and you see the ring, the pic that I got here right on the screen is a picture of allegedly one of the rings from the movie. Now it's called the Lords of the Rings because the lords are really the ones that's in power. They're the lords. They run the rings. They run the religion. Let me give you an example. Um, Islam or the Muslims, um, the lords of that ring would be the Saudis, the Saudi Arabians. They actually control the Middle East. They have a lot of say so what goes on under the table that goes on in the Middle East. And then you're dealing with Christianity. Everybody know who really runs the Christianity and Buddhism. Um, dealing with uh, China, and then atheism is pretty much just global, ran by all of them. But those are the main religions that control the masses of the people. And the reason why they show a ring is because one thing they don't want you to do is expand your circle, because that's the only thing you can do. You can only expand your circle. You cannot. Uh, you can. Well, you can make it smaller too. You can make your circle smaller, but the only thing you can do is expand it. I'm gonna give you an example. Now, when you look at the sun and you look at the earth, both moving objects are expanding. So the sun's getting bigger. The earth is getting bigger, and there there are spheres that are expanding. So mentally, they know that you can expand your circle. I'm gonna give you an example. Now, say you're going to work. You get a raise. You go from maybe doing data entry. You're doing data entry. You get a raise to be a supervisor. So now the data entry that you were doing, that repeated everyday circle that you was doing, data entry, you would come into work and you would do data entry. That was your routine. So now your circle expanded because now you know data entry, but now you're a supervisor. So now you're overseeing the people that are under you. And you have to do that every day. So that you expanded your circle, you made it bigger. The whole goal is to keep you in the circle, keep you doing. It's sort of like that when you see people, um, it's sort of like that hamster wheel. That hamster wheel goes, the hamster's moving, it's going real fast, but you know, the reality is it's not going nowhere. And that's what the movie The Lord of the Rings is portraying. The ones in power that control the rings, the ones that control the religion. Because when you control the religion, then you control the mass majority of people. You keep them in a sub mental low state. You don't want them expanding their circle. So when I was looking at this movie, The Lord of the Rings, and I'm just sitting here and I'm like, because when you have junk DNA and it's activated, when you watch certain movies, you don't see it the way that they portray it. You actually see it through a coded lens. So I'm watching this movie, I'm like, man, they actually are just letting people know that they're the lords of the rings. They're the lords of the religions. They're the ones that control the mass majority of people. And um, I'm gonna give you an example of the there's a car company out called Audi, right? And the car company, one of their symbol is the four rings. So when you're behind the Audi, you see the four rings. Yeah, and that's basically, that's a sign of power. That's a sign of controlling people, keeping them on a hamster wheel, keeping them going in a circle. So when you see that Audi sign, that's just a sign of power. And a lot of people, look at that sign and they wouldn't think, that it means something, but that actually means the the uh the control of the religions on this planet. That's what the Audi symbol really means. And the people that even working at Audi, they probably don't even know that. You know what I mean? They just look at it as, maybe they had something to do with the Olympics or something like that. When people working, they modern day zombies. They don't see the world like how you see the world. You see it in a whole different aspect. Once your junk DNA is activated, it's activated. There's nothing that you can do about it anyway. So looking at this movie, The Lord of the Rings, and I'm just like, man, this is deeper than just the movie. And uh, it's keeping people mentally enslaved and letting them know that we don't want you expanding your circle too big. So we want to keep your circle in a certain uh, at a certain level. So yeah, the Lord of the Rings is actually the Lord of the rings, the Lord of the circle, the religion, the ones that keep people in that low mind frame, to keep you going on that hamster wheel, like, because you're running full sprint, but you're not going nowhere. So that's the decoded um the Lord of the Rings. And it's crazy because um a lot of people look at this movie and they won't catch that. So I had to let people know what the real meaning of the Lord of the Rings, because they're the lords. They're the lords of the planet. They're the lords of the circular mind frame. They're the Lord of the ring, the circular mind frame, the ring. But that's why my logo. Well, I'm gonna get a different logo. I'm using this one temporarily, but it caught my eye because it's a circle sphere, and it has the electricity coming out of it. Because you're extending out of the circle. So that's why I have that symbol on my YouTube channel, for a reason. Because once you start seeing, the way that the the way the world really is, then that's all it is. Keep people in a circular mind frame, a circular pattern of mind frame. So Lord of the Rings, Decoded. And I had some more stuff, but I'm sitting here chilling. It's nighttime, having me a glass of wine. I just felt like doing this video tonight on the Lord of the Rings. So there you have it.